The morning in the savannah unfolded slowly and beautifully. Soft golden light fell on sparse trees and rocky hills. A light breeze stirred the dry grass and brought the smell of dust and freshness. A young leopard crept cautiously between large boulders, its spotted coat blending in with the sunspots on the rough stones. It would freeze, listening to distant sounds, then gently move forward again, scanning the path and checking the scents left by other animals. After taking a few confident steps, it came out onto a flat stone slab, behind which a narrow crevice was hidden. The edges were smooth and deceptively safe. The leopard, looking intently ahead, placed its paw a little further and suddenly slipped down. His body slid down the sloping surface and found itself trapped between two heavy boulders. The space was too narrow. His shoulders and hips were pressed against the uneven walls, and his paws were helplessly pressed against the bottom of the crevice. He sat motionless for a few seconds, breathing heavily and listening to the silence. Then he tried to twist himself free, straining his muscles, but the stone walls did not yield. His short, slightly anxious growl echoed off the rocks and faded into the morning air, as if inviting someone to come and help. The warm morning sun was already fully illuminating the rocky savannah, casting long shadows between the rocks. Nearby, one of the rescuers was slowly making his way along the path. His bright orange vest stood out against the grey rocks, and his eyes carefully scanned every detail around him. He moved cautiously so as not to scare the animal or make any unnecessary noise. As he approached a narrow crevice, he noticed an alarming movement. A leopard was stuck between two rocks. The predator's spotted coat contrasted with the grey rocks, and its paws were pressed against the walls, preventing it from moving. The leopard quietly shifted and trembled as it tried to free itself, as if calling for help. The rescuer froze for a few seconds to calmly assess the situation and figure out how to approach safely. He slowly knelt on one knee and examined the narrow gap where the animal was stuck from a distance. The wind gently swayed the grass around him, and the sunlight played on the leopard's fur. The man thought through each step: how to keep the animal calm, what movements would be safe, and how to help the animal get out without causing it pain. The rescuer cautiously approached the narrow crevice and retrieved the necessary equipment from the vehicle. Among the tools was a portable jackhammer designed to carefully widen the rock crevice. The man carefully examined the space around the leopard to ensure that every movement would be safe and would not harm the animal. He checked every corner and every sticking point to prepare the way for its release. Turning on the jackhammer, the rescuer began to slowly and carefully loosen the stone blocks. The soft, controlled blows of metal against stone echoed across the morning savannah. The leopard trembled slightly, but remained calm, sensing the man's caution and confidence. The rescuer constantly monitored the animal's reaction, adjusting the force and direction of the blows to expand the space as safely as possible. After a few tense minutes, the narrow gap gradually widened. The leopard cautiously began to extend its paws, testing its new boundaries. The rescuer spoke quietly to the animal, keeping it calm, and made sure that each step was safe. With each passing second, the animal became more confident, and the rescuer realized that the most important stage of the rescue was almost complete, and that the leopard would soon be safe. The bright morning gradually gave way to the midday sun, as the rescuer carefully placed the leopard in the back of an open truck. The animal lay on soft bedding, slightly weakened after being freed from the narrow crevice. The rescuer made sure the leopard felt calm, supporting it with quiet words and gentle movements. The vehicle slowly rolled along the rocky path, carefully navigating small bumps. Along the way, golden grasses and sparse shrubs spread out across the savannah, and the sunlight reflected softly off the leopard's fur. The rescuer closely monitored its condition, checking its breathing and posture to ensure it was not in any unnecessary discomfort. Every movement of the vehicle was calculated so as not to disturb the animal and to safely deliver it to the clinic, where further care and treatment awaited it. Upon arriving at the clinic, the rescuer carefully got out of the car and gently carried the injured leopard inside. He walked slowly, making sure that each of the animal's paws and body were securely supported, and that soft bedding had been prepared in advance for its comfort. The veterinarians were already waiting, checking the equipment and preparing everything necessary for the examination. The atmosphere was tense but calm. Everyone understood that the most important thing now was to provide maximum care and safety for the animal. The leopard was laid down on a soft bedding in a spacious room at the clinic. Veterinarians slowly and carefully examined him. They checked his breathing, listened to his heart, and gently touched his sides and paws to make sure there were no serious injuries. They thoroughly cleaned its fur of dust and small stone fragments left over from its release from the rocks. One of the rescuers, wearing an orange vest, stood nearby and held the animal, assisting the specialists, while the soft sunlight from the windows filled the room with a sense of peace and confidence. When the examination was complete, the veterinarians began treating the scratches and minor bruises. They applied a disinfectant solution and gently applied light bandages to protect the damaged areas of skin. The leopard behaved calmly, trustingly allowing the people to finish their work. One of the rescuers gently supported its head and shoulders, while another helped the vet secure the bandages. It seemed that the animal was gradually realizing that it was now safe and that recovery awaited it. The leopard spent several days in a spacious enclosure next to the clinic, where he was carefully looked after. Rescuers and veterinarians brought him fresh water and meat, carefully placing the food in a corner so that the animal would feel calm. He already looked more cheerful. His coat glistened in the sun, and his gaze became more confident. A light breeze rustled the leaves of the trees around the enclosure, creating a quiet and peaceful atmosphere, as if all of nature was rejoicing in his recovery. When the specialists were convinced that all his wounds had healed, it was time to release him into the wild. The rescuers opened the wide door of the enclosure, giving the leopard the opportunity to take his first step back to his familiar life. He slowly walked outside, stopping to look at the familiar savannah landscape. In the distance, he could see rocks and trees, places he once knew. The sun was setting on the horizon, bathing everything in soft light, and in that moment, there was a sense of complete harmony between humans and wildlife. Every rescue is a chance to give life a new beginning. Thanks to the courage and kindness of those who are ready to help, even wild predators in distress can regain their freedom and strength. May caring for nature and its inhabitants always remind us that together we can preserve this fragile world. Thank you for watching until the end. Please like and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you next time.